Hey everyone, my name's EarthToLydia. Welcome back to another Dead by Daylight news video. So as a lot of you will know, there is a PTB going live today, and today I'm going to really quickly be going over the patch notes on what we can expect to see in the upcoming PTB, and also some other future changes regarding the ranking system that are going to be coming into play. So without any further ado, enjoy the video, guys. Let me go through them. So, the Clown! Kicking things off, the Clown is receiving some changes in the upcoming mid-chapter. Our resident funny man has been cooking something up, introducing the Afterpiece Antidote. This new throwable bottle shatters and releases a delayed yellow gas. Once the gas activates, anyone who steps in the gas receives a 10% movement speed bonus. Like your tonic, this effect lingers for a few seconds after leaving the gas. You can swap tonics and antidotes by tapping that active ability button at any time. Okay, so is that a different mode or is it an add-on? Antidote isn't just a name, they will also cure any negative effects from the Afterpiece tonic, so you'll want to be careful where you throw them. They may make you faster, but a poorly thrown bottle will make the survivor faster as well, or you may want to lure a survivor. Oh my god, it's kind of like Old Doctor and Legion rolled into one. I'm here for it. Or you may want to lure a survivor to an area with no pallets remaining with a juicy antidote. Remember, if the two gases collide, they will neutralize each other and disappear. Oh, so you can't overlap your bottles anymore. Interesting. We also recognize that every second counts. That's why we've reduced the time taken to reload your bottles to 3 seconds, down from 5. Reloading will give you 4 bottles in any combination. You do not need to reload tonics and antidotes separately. Okay. Is it like Dream Pallets where you need an add-on? Apparently, it looks like it's just 2 separate modes. You can switch back and forth between them, so it sounds like that. Last but not least, we've done a pass on the Clown's add-ons. There's some interesting new combinations in there that we're curious to see what you can do with. Okay, so it doesn't say anything more about that right now, but the next big update, look at this! The HUD's getting changed! The HUD is getting changed! So now all of your survivors are up here. You will have an icon to show which character is being played by every survivor, and they have a tally for how many times they've been hooked. But yeah, this is going to be a lot easier for killers, but you'll have a tally of each survivor and how many times they've been hooked. But yeah, the icons will change. If, like, here, for example, if they get put in the dying state, you'll see the icon change to the dying state or to the injured state, whatever it may be. They've now changed it so that your gen status is up here. So out with the old, in with the new. We've all got some fond memories of the in-game HUD, but after 4 years of additions, we felt that it was time to rebuild it from the ground up. Seeing is believing here, so here's a couple of examples of what you can expect. The first thing that you'll probably notice is the new layout. We aim to keep things clean and familiar to longtime players while updating the HUD, but that's not all. The new HUD comes with a few tricks up its sleeve. So character portraits, no longer will you stare blankly at the generic figures in the corner. Trying to figure out which one is Meg and which one is Dwight, you'll now see the face of the survivor next to their name. Hook encounter progress. Next to each survivor's portrait, you'll also see a hook counter. This will help you remember who's been hooked, who hasn't, and who can't afford to be hooked again. Killers will also see a meter showing their hook progress to give them an idea of how well they're doing. That's the other thing as well. From the survivor point of view as well, it will help because if, you know, for example, at the end of the game, you're like, oh, should I stay back with the open exit gate knowing that this person's going to get hooked? I can't remember if they're on death hook. Or should I escape because, I don't know, Bloodwater might be in the game. So, yeah, in those scenarios, I think it'll help. UI scale options. Are you squinting at a tiny screen across the room trying to make out what the text says? Or are you a minimalist who wants the HUD to take up as little space as possible? Either way, we have you covered. You'll find new options to increase or decrease the size of the HUD in the options menu. There you go. So now you can actually like downscale or make bigger all of the things on the HUD. The survivor locomotion animation feature. Keeping with the theme of updating what's old, we've revisited survivor animations. As the game moves towards a more realistic direction, we felt it was only fitting to switch to more realistic and fluid animations. We've made a conscious effort to not change movement itself. Your inputs as well as your character's speed, turn rates and acceleration have not changed, while the actual movements for survivors have not changed. New animations can make it feel different to control. We'll be keeping a close eye out for feedback to make sure that we can find a compromise between making things look better while also keeping the feeling right. Okay. It looks like really subtle tweaks, like just when you're coming to a stop from running. Or slowing down. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, look at that little skull! Okay. So we can blind through more things, wonderful. Oh? Okay. Oh yeah, here's another thing. We're now getting rank rewards. Starting with some good news, matchmaking ratings are returning in the near future. So that's the MMR system, if anybody remembers that from last summer. We've been hard at work tweaking the system since our test last year, and we're preparing to re-enable skill-based matchmaking for another test soon. That's not all. Once we're happy with matchmaking ratings and turn the system on for good, we'll be introducing rank rewards. Since ranks will no longer be used for matchmaking, they will instead be repurposed to reward dedicated players. Each month, everyone will be given blood points based on their highest rank that they've achieved and then be reset to rank 20. So the rewards are, so all grey ranks will be rewarded with 10,000 blood points, all yellow ranks will be rewarded with 30,000, all green ranks will be rewarded with a 100,000, all purples will be 150,000, and then they start differentiating a little bit more. So if you're rank 4 at the end of the season, which is every month on the 13th, then you'll get 200,000 blood points. Rank 3s will get 210,000 blood points. Rank 2s will get 225,000. And then rank 1 will be getting 250,000 blood points. You'll earn rewards for both Killer and Survivor separately. For example, if you reach rank 1 on both roles, you'll receive a total of 500,000 blood points. Honestly, rank 12 still gets like a hefty amount. When you consider there's only 4 ranks difference in between these, and you get a 70,000 bonus, that's mad. The next realms due for a graphics update are the Gideon Meat Plant and the Crotosprint Asylum, and here's a sneak peek of what's to come. All right, anyway, miscellaneous, let's round off this developer update with a package of small quality of life balances and changes. All right, I'm excited for this. We knew this one was coming, but Wraith, true invisibility. A keen survivor can see the Wraith while he's cloaked by a faint shimmer to give him a small boost. He'll be changing his cloaked shimmer to only be visible when close by. The Wraith shimmer will be completely invisible beyond 24 meters, somewhat visible between 24 and 16, and then unchanged within 16 meters. Honestly, it's not that much of a difference. It's not a huge difference. But I mean, it's still a nice quality of life change for Wraith. Honestly, I would have preferred if they just made him completely like actual true invisibility, get rid of that morph completely. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is better anyway. At least you can't see him like coming from all the way across the other side of the map, for example, like on Shelter Woods. The goal of this change is to make it harder for survivors to keep tabs on the Wraith while he's cloaked, while maintaining an opportunity for a survivor to react if you approach from the open. The Trapper's getting a changed. So you've stepped in a trap. Now what? Previously, you would have a 25% chance to escape a trap each attempt. This sounds simple on paper, but four attempts only add up to roughly a 68% chance to escape. This makes traps pretty unreliable. Survivors could get out of their first try before you have a chance to react, or they could try dozens of times without escaping. To combat this, we are switching to a flat distribution. Each time a survivor steps in a trap, it will take them between 1 to 6 attempts to escape. What does this mean in practice? Between 1 and 3 attempts, the chance to escape is lower than before. At 4 attempts, the chance to escape is roughly the same as before, and between 5 and 6 attempts, the chance to escape is higher than before. Add-ons which reduce the chance to escape will be updated to increase the possible number of attempts accordingly. We hope to keep the exciting am I going to escape and am I going to get there in time moments while reducing the frustrations and making it easier to understand. They've also changed deep wounds. So, for anybody that doesn't know, deep wounds have been through quite a lot of different incarnations. That used to be before that if you were put in deep wound, you just had a set amount of seconds to get yourself out, even if you were still running. There was no way to pause that timer. And then they changed it so it's like, oh, well, if you're in chase, then it won't go down. And now they've changed it so that if you're running, then it won't go down. Deep wounds have gone through a few iterations. That's what I just said. I promise that wasn't intentional. And the once reasonable 30-second timer now seems a little too generous. It does seem huge, in all honesty. So I can understand why they're changing that. Oh, actually, I've just thought of one glaringly obvious one that this could seriously fuck over. Doctor. If you are in Madness Tier 3, you can't do anything when you're facing a doctor. But also, if you get rescued from the hook right in front of him with borrowed time, if you get hit, you have to obviously stop to snap yourself out of it, and then you have to mend. Let's see what they say. Let's see what they say. We'll be simplifying deep wounds. The deep wound timer is now 20 seconds long, regardless of how it was applied. The Legion's add-ons that remove deep wound time have been adjusted accordingly. We want to add a bit more urgency to mending while also leaving room for edge cases, such as needing to snap out. Ah, okay. Being able to mend. Right. I wonder if that means that they're going to make that a secondary priority, because I hope that that's what they mean. Diversion, aka Pebble. Diversion has found its way into the hearts of many people in spite of not being particularly powerful. We believe that the world should have more pebbles. With that in mind, we are reducing the time taken to activate Diversion and simplifying its perk tiers to make it more usable at lower levels. Okay, so at the minute, I think the fastest that you can get a pebble is 40 seconds in the killer's terror radius without being chased. So maybe we'll see Pebble use more. That'd be interesting. Fixated. Don't you hate it when you get hit so hard that you forget how to walk slightly faster? Us too. Fixated will now remain active even if you're injured. Hey, that's a good change. I like that. And I don't think it's like too much of a big buff either that it would really like change the meta or anything like that. I like that. I like that change. Hex Undying. We've been watching this one closely, and there's a few things that we'd like to address. Oh, you ready, boys? You ready? Transferring the same hex multiple times can get a bit out of hand. Hexes are meant to be strong perks that can be destroyed, and having to destroy the same hex 4 times can be a bit much. Since tokens aren't transferred when a hex changes totems, Undying was unpopular for perks other than Ruin, which does not have any tokens and is immediately at full power. Having aura reading on all totems also made it a very powerful tracking perk on top of its other effects, and is a little redundant with Hex Thrill of the Hunt. With this in mind, we're making 3 changes to Hex Undying. Anytime a Hex totem is cleansed, it will replace the Hex Undying totem. Hex Undying is then deactivated. This ensures that the first totem cleansed is never your other Hex perk. So now you won't ever be cleansing Ruin first. You will always be cleansing Undying first, and I'm assuming that means that you can keep all of your stacks if you're using it with something like Devour Hope, but we'll see. Any tokens you've already accumulated are now kept when the Hex perk transfers totems. This way, you're not starting from scratch midway through the match. There we go. So that's exactly what I just said, which I'm glad about. Aura reading only applies to dull totems. Okay, so you now can't track somebody if they are cleansing your Hex totems. You can't just, like, for example, on high mobility killers like Nurse, Billy, Oni, Spirit, Blight, they could all just run straight back to their totem and then just get you off it. So I'm quite happy about that. That's a good change. Very good changes. Very good quiz. We hope this makes Hex perks other than just Ruin more appealing when used with Undying. That's gonna be scary to see people using Undying and Devour Hope, and probably forcing maps as well. That's gonna be scary. Iron Maiden as well. This buff, I like this buff. Could be very difficult to follow up and hit a survivor within 15 seconds of them exiting a locker, and so we are increasing the duration of the exposed status effect to 30 seconds. So if you get hit with head on and you're like, you little fucker, I need to recover from this stun and run after you and down you. Well, now it's more viable. Open-handed makes for some interesting builds, but the low values mean that you needed to convince other survivors to stack it to see any noticeable results. To make this a more appealing choice, we'll be increasing the aura reading range bonus to 8, 12, and 16 meters, but limiting you to the effects of open-handed of one open-handed at a time to prevent it from getting out of hand. Okay, so basically you can't stack open-handed anymore. To that one friend who really didn't want to run open-handed but did it anyway because the rest of the group wanted to, you're welcome. Second wind. Okay. Let's have a look. Another simple one. We're reducing the time that it takes for second wind to heal you after being unhooked. That's pretty good, honestly. I'm happy with that change. With that, we've reached the end of our developer update. All of the changes mentioned above will be available for testing in the player test build early next week. So from next week, we're going to be able to change it. We're going to be able to see the changes. Same with the HUD, same with Clown. All of it should be good. Pebble OP, please nerf.